Call to order the meeting of the Greenwood Common Council on Wednesday, November the 8th. You would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and after the pledge, we'll be led in prayer this evening by Chaplain David Mark Owens. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. God of all, two groups of people come to my mind tonight, my heart. I ask you first of all to bless these folks that are in the elected arena. Lord, we know it's not always easy, and sometimes conflict and barbs and criticism come their way, and not always the elections go the way from hard reward, the rewards of hard work. But Lord, I ask you to bless these elected officials, both here and throughout our community, and show them your smile in a special way, because they're special people. And it's because of their efforts and the freedom to vote that we celebrate much about what our identity is as a country. And then, Lord, also tonight I celebrate the veterans and are reminded that they go through hardships, and it's not always the frontline soldiers, the ones pulling the triggers. It's those who work in the depots, and those who bandage the bandages and the hurts, and those who do the things behind the scenes that make for greatness and victory and success. So I ask your blessings upon all veterans tonight, and we know because of their efforts that we are free to be a people and our identity is secure. We know there's war zones tonight, and we ask you to help us to reach out in peace to all sides of all conflicts, and let them know that we're concerned and we're compassionate and we care. Bless us tonight, Lord. Bless our elected officials, bless our veterans, and let us be in your hands. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call.
Bates,
Present.
Betron. Here. Campbell,
Here.
Gibson. Here. Bill.
Here.
Hopper,
Here.
Lexi is absent. Hamilton.
Here.
And Williams.
Here. We do have a quorum. All of you should receive copies of minutes from the regular meeting of October the 16th. Do I have a motion? I so moved. Motion by Mr. Bates. A second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Betron. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, then roll call on the minutes.
Bates.
Aye.
Betron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Middleton.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye. Minutes are approved on a vote of 8-0. Reports. Corporation Council.
Nothing Corporation Council.
Anything from the controller at this time?
Nothing at this time.
Any other committee or board reports? All right, moving on. This is an opportunity we set aside for members of the public to address the council concerning items that are on tonight's agenda. So if you're here and would like to do so, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, please speak up. All right, hearing none, then moving on, ordinances, resolutions, none under notice of intent to consider. First reading, ordinance number 2341.
An ordinance providing for an additional appropriation from the American Rescue Plan Board of Valorous Local Physical Recovery Fund to budget classification 445, $36,840 for air purification systems for the city employee health clinic, sponsored by Gibson. Public hearing scheduled for today.
Have a motion?
Second.
Motion Ms. Gibson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bates. Open it up for public hearing. Anyone here wishing to speak for or against ordinance 2341, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, please speak up. Hearing none, then close the public hearing. Any discussion on the council? Hearing none, then roll call. First reading, ordinance number 2341.
Bates.
Aye.
Betron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Middleton.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Ordinance Ordinance 2341 passes first reading 8-0. Second reading, ordinance number 2339.
An ordinance authorizing the purchasing agents of the city of Greenwood to make advance payments on contracts for public works projects, goods, and services sponsored by Alexi.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Bates, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Betron. Any discussion on the council? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2339, second reading.
Betron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Middleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
And Bates.
Aye.
Ordinance 2339 passes second reading 8-0. Ordinance 2340.
An ordinance of the city of Greenwood, Indiana, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds for the purpose of providing funds to pay for certain capital expenditures, road projects, and incidental expenses to connection therewith and all matters related thereto, sponsored by Bates and Gibson.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr.
Second.
Hopper, second by Ms. Gibson. Any discussion? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2340, second reading.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Middleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Betron. Aye.
Ordinance 2340 passes second reading 8-0. Ordinance 2342.
An ordinance appropriating the proceeds of the city of Greenwood, Indiana general obligation bond of 2023, sponsored by Gibson.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gibson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hopper. This is scheduled for a public hearing. Open it up. If you're here, wish to speak for or against ordinance 2342, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, please speak up with your name and address, please. Hearing none. Close the public hearing. Any discussion on the council? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2342, second reading.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Middleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Betron. Aye. And Campbell.
Aye. Ordinance 2342 passes second reading 8-0. Resolution 2319.
A resolution establishing holidays for employees of the city of Greenwood for the year 2024, sponsored by Alexi.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Bates, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Betron. Any discussion on the council? Hearing none, then roll call. Resolution 2319, second reading.
Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Middleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Betron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye.
Ordinance 2319, or resolution 2319 passes second reading 8-0. New business, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 2344.
An ordinance amending the 2024 salary ordinance, common council ordinance number 2333 to provide for flexibility in first-class probationary positions in the fire and police departments, and to create an additional part-time firefighter paramedic position and increase part-time maximum hourly rates in the fire department, sponsored by Gibson.
Mr. Wright.
Good evening, Greg Wright, City Controller. So there are two purposes of this particular ordinance. The first is that usually in past years, we've had a split between first class and probationary positions in the salary ordinance that has worked out just based on the number of people going through the probationary period and what we had built into the ordinance. So we didn't ever run into any issues there. But this year, with the number of police officers we've got going through their probationary period, this year it started kind of mid to late year. Also, in the fire department, we have several that have started mid to late year, and then more plan to be hired next year. We want to have enough probationary positions, so rather than coming back here several times next year to amend the number of positions, what we'd like to do is allow the chiefs to determine, based on the total first-class positions they have, how many of those will need to be probationary at any one time versus total first-class officers, so that they can, as they come into and out of those probationary periods, without having to come back and request a change every time, we'd be covered on that ordinance for the salary ordinance. The other piece is, working to increase participation in the standby staffing at the fire department. We have tried to set a rate that's really competitive. We looked at a lot of the other departments around the county and around us as far as their rates, and several had it broken out by firefighter EMT versus firefighter paramedic. So the paramedic pays more because they do have more training. So our thought here is we'll create a new position. That job description will run through Board of Works and get approved of that part-time firefighter paramedic. And then we would pay a higher rate to those positions, but we're also increasing the rate for the firefighter EMT to try and encourage more people to participate in that as well. And since these won't affect anything until 2024, there's no need for any kind of suspension for anyone.
Any questions for Mr. Wright? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda are 7 ordinances dealing with vacating certain easements in the Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2. We're going to have all of these read in, and then after the 7th one, we'll have a presentation that will include all of them. And we're going to have one public hearing to include all 7 of these. So just to streamline things a little bit. So we'll start with ordinance 2345.
An ordinance vacating platted variable width drainage easements, lot 5, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2, sponsored by Campbell.
Ordinance 2346.
An ordinance vacating platted access drainage and utility easement in lot 4, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2, sponsored by Campbell.
Ordinance 2347.
An ordinance vacating platted variable width sidewalk easement in lot 4, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2, sponsored by Campbell.
Ordinance 2348.
An ordinance vacating platted variable width access drainage utility easement in lot 4, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2, sponsored by Campbell.
Ordinance 2349.
An ordinance vacating platted variable width drainage easement in lot 4, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2.
Ordinance 2350.
An ordinance vacating platted variable width access drainage utility easement in lots 4 and 5, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2, sponsored by Campbell.
Ordinance 2351.
An ordinance vacating platted variable width drainage easement in lot 5, Worsville Commerce Center Phase 2, sponsored by Campbell.
All right, and when these come up for vote, we will vote on each of them individually, but for tonight, we'll group them together. All right, floor is yours.
Appreciate first off condensing these into one presentation. So Justin Elastic, Scannell Properties, we are the owner of lots 4 and 5 within this overall industrial park. And essentially what this comes down to is this is a cleanup exercise for us within this development. These last 2 lots, lot 4 and lot 5 are currently subdivided. We have a user, end user who will be taking both of these lots, and with that, some of these platted easements run through the proposed building footprints. So we're just looking to relocate these easements. We have approved plans in place with staff, as well as an approved replat of lots 4 and 5 to consolidate these. And essentially, once this easement vacation process is complete, we'll immediately go back, record that platted easements, and essentially what's here existing that we're vacating will be rededicated in the new locations of the stormwater pipes, the detention system, and any of the utilities. The only one that is not going to be rededicated via our new replat would be the sidewalk easements. This was provided as part of a previous plan when a small portion of the asphalt sidewalk that's going to be provided along Allen Road was actually going to encroach onto our private sites. It was due to a right turn lane that was proposed into lot 4. With this new development, we don't have the need for another drive cut onto Allen Road, so that sidewalk can remain in the right of way, and the sidewalk easement is not needed. Again, everything else, this is for the benefit of the overall park. There's no public utilities that serve anything other than our development here. And again, just a cleanup exercise, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions if you guys have.
Any questions at this time? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, these are scheduled for public hearing, so we'll open up the public hearing for ordinance 2346. 2345, 2346, 2347, 2348, 2349, 2350, and 2351. Anyone here wishing to speak for or against any of these ordinances, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, please speak up.
Jay Nelson, Planning Director. Just for your awareness, planning staff and engineering staff have worked with the petitioner. We are favorable of these cleanup exercises as they're referenced, and they will also be going to Plan Commission next Monday for a recommendation from Plan Commission. But as far as staff is concerned, we have no concerns with these easement.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against these ordinances? All right, seeing none, close the public hearing. And moving on to ordinance number 2352.
An ordinance to amend the text of Greenwood Municipal Code, 1992, Chapter 8, Traffic and Parking Regulations, Article 6, Section 8-55, no right turn or red designations, to repeal the designation at Madison Avenue and Smith Valley Road, and to designate the no right turn on red at the intersection of Main Street and Madison Avenue.
All right, we're going to talk about this one.
I can give a brief overview of this. There's two parts to this first ordinance. The first is,
Excuse me, would you give your name, please?
yes, I'm sorry, Mark St. John, City Engineer. The first part of this ordinance is to remove a no right turn on red restriction at Smith Valley Road at Madison Avenue. That existed when that was a traffic signal. It is now a roundabout, so there's no need for that to exist anymore. The second is to prohibit right turn on red in all directions at the intersection of Main Street and Madison Avenue. That is because of some of the improvements that have been put in place with our streetscape project. The buildings that are there that create sight distance issue, smaller turning radii, delayed signal phasing, and the possibility of pedestrian conflicts at the intersection. They're all reasons we recommended the no right turn on red. So.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, thank you. Ordinance number 2353.
An ordinance to amend the text of Greenwood Municipal Code, 1993, Chapter 8, Traffic and Parking Regulations, Article 6, provide for no left turn for westbound traffic on Main Street at Madison Avenue, Main Street intersection, sponsored by Gibson.
Again, Mark St. John, City Engineer. This proposed ordinance has to do again with our streetscape project in an effort to make downtown more walkable, more user-friendly, more pedestrian-friendly, and build wider sidewalks. We got rid of the westbound, southbound left turn lane. And without that left turn lane, if someone tries to turn left, they could really back up traffic there. So the recommendation is to restrict no left turns to allow for proper capacity in the intersection.
All right, is there any reason why there's not included in this is not a southbound Madison no left turn on the eastbound Main?
So that had been discussed previously. My understanding is the thought was traffic operates okay with it as a left-bound, and there's also the opportunity to put in a split phase. So essentially, I think it's southbound, it might be northbound, could go before southbound. And it lets that left turn lane clear out before everybody gets a green, if that makes sense.
If you're southbound Madison, there's only 2 lanes,
Correct.
and cars that are stopped there wanting to make a left-hand turn and back that traffic as far north as Broadway.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Starting as early as 1 or 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
It's certainly something that could be put in place if so desired.
all right. With that,
I'd like to move for suspension of the rules for first reading.
we have a motion by Ms. Gibson to suspend the rules on ordinance 2353 through first reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bates. Any discussion on suspension? Hearing none, in roll call on suspension of the rules through first reading, ordinance 2353.
Hopper.
Aye.
Pendleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Petron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
And Hill.
Rules are suspended through first reading. Do I have a motion on first reading?
Don't we need to do an amendment first? If
We
want
need to get
add-
it on the floor for a motion,
Okay, so
and then we can do an amendment
okay,
afterwards.
so moved.
So I have a motion by Ms. Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. All right, now, I'll entertain a motion to amend this to say, no person shall permit a vehicle when traveling southbound on Madison Avenue to turn left onto eastbound Main Street in the city of Greenwood. Is that,
I second that.
well done? You like that?
I second,
All right, well, no, you make the motion.
I make the motion.
Anybody second that?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hopper. Any discussion on a motion to amend ordinance 2353 to prevent southbound traffic turning left on the southbound on Madison, turning east onto Main Street? Hearing none, then roll call on the motion to amend ordinance 2353.
Pendleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Petron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
And Hopper.
Aye.
Ordinance 2353 is amended with a vote of 8-0. Any further discussion on ordinance 2353?
Yes, I move for suspension.
Well, we need to vote on first.
You said you wanted to be out of here.
I appreciate that, but I still have to follow. Any discussion? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2353 as amended, first reading.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Petron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
And Pendleton.
Ordinance 2353 as amended is passed first reading 8-0. We have a motion by Ms. Gibson to suspend the rules through second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. I'm sorry. Second by Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Any discussion on suspension of the rules through second reading? Hearing none, then roll call on suspension of the rules through second reading, ordinance 2353 as amended.
Bates.
Aye.
Petron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
Hill. Hopper.
Aye.
Pendleton.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Rules are suspended through second reading. Do I have a motion on second reading?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gibson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2353 as amended on second reading.
Petron. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Pendleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
And Bates.
Aye.
Ordinance 2353 as amended passes second reading 8-0. Resolution 2321.
A resolution of the Greenwood Common Council expressing interest in the purchase of certain real properties on Tetzinger Road, sponsored by Hopper.
Say none. Yes, you too.
Yes, again, Mr. Mark St. John, city engineer. This is our Cutzinger Road project, Cutzinger Road between Honey Creek Road and Hebert Road. There's a lot of parcels we need to purchase right away from on this one. We have appraisals on 7 additional parcels. Based on those appraisals, we anticipate the cost for them will be greater than $25,000. That's for each individual parcel. And so state code requires us to come to the council and ask for this resolution to be passed.
All right, any questions? All right. I believe that's it. Thank you very much. All right, miscellaneous business. This is a second opportunity for members of the public to address the council, this time concerning items that are not on tonight's agenda. So if you're here and would like to do so, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Or if you're online, just please speak up. All right, seeing none, then moving on. Miscellaneous business or the common council.
I'll talk fast.
Okay.
The ACT Center at the airport, or the Aeronautical Center of Technology, their students have been working for about 3 months now on building rockets. And tomorrow they'll be setting up at 12:30 and start launching at 1 rockets that they have produced. And the location is going to be Main Street and 5 Points. You'll continue going east on Main to 5 Points and past it, and then look for the rocket launch sign there at Griffith Road or near Griffith Road.
That's tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
And this is really a neat thing that the students are learning and participating in.
All right, anything else from council? Any other miscellaneous business, corporation council?
Nothing for Corporation Council.
Controller,
Not for me.
mayor's office? You are adjourned. Thank you.